Welcome to the Time to Practice Summer Edition. This series is meant to give you a little weekly burst of inspiration, motivation, or food for thought about music learning and music practice for young musicians each week before we restart Season 4 in September. You'll hear tips from past expert guests, listeners, and even, I hope, tips from young musicians themselves this year, and I can't wait to share them with you. Whenever you listen to this episode, whether it's in the summer or throughout the year, I hope these episodes speak to you and give you actionable advice that you can use. This episode is brought to you by my upcoming parent talk with frequent podcast guest Barbie Wong. We are giving a talk on the topic of setting your child up for a productive year in music lessons, and we're very excited to share it with those of you who can attend. You can join us on Saturday, August 15th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Pacific. It will be a 1-hour informative and supportive session that covers topics like ways to get back into your daily practice routine, what can get in our way when it comes to getting back to a practice routine in a new school year, and how you can support your child in the year ahead with their music lessons and their progress on their instrument, whatever their age. This talk will be recorded if you can't attend live, and there is both an individual rate and a studio rate for teachers who want to purchase for their whole studio to attend. Links to sign up are in the show notes and at suzukitriangle.com. All right, welcome everyone. We are continuing on our summer series of practice tips, and I am delighted today to have a parent here to share some ideas and reflections with us. We have Anton Van Oosbree here from California. And Anton, I was hoping you could just start and share a little bit about your own personal maybe experience with music, and then also, your experience parenting a musical child.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I've been playing music since, fourth grade band. I think it's now fifth grade band, unfortunately. But so some sort of music in my life, all my life. And then my daughter, 5 years ago or so, said, I think we were reading the Boxcar Children, and there's a character in that book that Violet plays violin. So that's where my daughter said, Dad, I want to play violin too. So I said, great, we'll find you a teacher. And we were in Suzuki lessons for a little over 4 years. We're currently on a break.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and thanks for sharing your journey. I think we can always, I was a parent who practiced with my own kids, and I can look back and think about like, oh, here's the things I learned maybe the hard way. And it's really helpful to
Sure.
share it with other people. So maybe they learn it the less hard way along the way from our advice. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would you like to start with?
Starting with, I like to try, I'm trying to try and put a slightly different sheen on this, really, really focused on the parent. And things that I would have benefited knowing were maybe just how involved, how much time this was really going to take from me, and not just time, right, but focus and compassion and having a big open heart during all of this. So one thing I'm sure you've heard from your teacher is make it a routine. And this is not just for your child to want to go into the practice room, but also for you, the parent. Just make sure it's part of your routine and so that you're mentally prepared that, it's this time of the day, it's time to practice. This is just what we do. The second little piece here is that I think it's important for the parent to really focus on, think about, and this will be different for people, but think about what are you getting out of this practice session? I made a little note here that maybe it's just sitting and practicing your breathing for 15 minutes, if that's what you're into, but making sure you're focused on something that you're getting out of this so that you can keep that relationship with your child, healthy, and that you're taking some of the stress off of them. And then my third little tip here definitely builds out of the second one is we want this to be a positive relationship for our child, of course. And so just really, really, as much as you possibly can, don't make any of the resistance to practice your child's fault. They're probably very young. They don't have any of the worldly understanding of intrinsic motivation yet. And you can model this for them. You can show them, and it'll take years and years and years for this to pay off. But really, really, please do not make it their fault if they don't want to practice.
Well, this is all very, very good advice. And I think somebody who practiced with my own kids, it is really important for us to think about our own motivation. Not that we're making the experience all about us, but for our side of, the triangle in the Suzuki world, if you're not a Suzuki family, we have we talk about a teacher and then the parent or caregiver and then the child. And this is like a three-legged stool or a three-sided triangle that supports the practice. And I think each person in that practice relationship has to take care of what are my needs, not to take it away from the child's experience or oh, this is about me and not my child, but there is an experience for us as the parent that we have to nurture and think about, right? And take care of. And it's really important to think about that as a separate thing from what your child's doing, like you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's its own thing. Just taking care of my own mental state was, I guess I knew that that was going to be a part of it, but I didn't know kind of how big and how that would change over time. And it's again, I can't give an answer to every parent listening here, but I guess I can say it will very likely be something that you'll have to figure out, and then it'll look different from year to year,
Yeah.
from season to season. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind sharing? You were talking about, find for yourself, what are you getting out of the experience? Do you have something personal you wouldn't mind sharing? What do you feel like you were getting out of that experience, or at least one of the things at one point in time?
Sure. I mean, I made this like half humorous joke about practicing your breathing. Some days that was not a joke, where I'm just going to sit here and acknowledge, hey, you know what? I wasn't really up for this tonight, but what can I do to make sure I'm here and make sure I'm open while my daughter's working through the material? That was one thing. Yeah, just I'm going to practice my breathing. Four in, hold it for four, out for four, whatever you prefer. Another was I've read this in some of your books too, but I'm just really keeping the relationship with my daughter at the forefront. Just reminding myself about that is that it goes fast, and this is a special thing that we get to do. I can't really A/B test it, what it would be like if we hadn't practiced that, but I am convinced that, my relationship with my daughter is more resilient, or at least just a little bit more special than it likely would have been without that. Of course, your family will adjust to whatever you're working on, but focusing on that connection helped me kind of like, okay, well, let's get into the practice room, let's get started. Of course, like this is true for your child. I'm guessing it's true for you too. Like the transition is the hardest part. Once you're going, it does tend to take care of itself.
Yeah, that's helpful. I think for me too, sometimes I would bring in like a big mug of tea that I particularly enjoyed, or like the cat on my lap, or a weighted blanket. Like some parents will tell me they bring in just something comforting to the space so they feel like, oh, there's something that I look forward to
Yeah,
having in this moment. And like you said, quality time.
yeah. I think it's also okay, and also a really positive thing to model of let's just try a bunch of different things. Like this is you're gonna get it wrong, so let's just try this. Okay, that didn't work. We won't do that. So I think that that's okay. For me, that would have been helpful to hear kind of at the beginning of, it's okay to do some experimentation. This doesn't have to look the same way every night. So just taking some pressure off of myself, especially at the beginning, could have eased my mental state.
Sure, absolutely. Oh, great. I'm sure many people will appreciate your advice. And if you're listening, hope you think of reflecting on some of those points that Anton was sharing with us today, and think about what is it for you that you get out of the practice, whether that's changes from day to day or year to year, that's fine. But reflecting on that, and how do we get that relationship with our child, protect that relationship with our child, is so important. So thanks for being here, Anton. Any final thoughts you want to share with anybody before we go?
Just be proud of yourself for what you're doing. I think this is really a special thing. This is an opinion, of course, but it's true for me. Is that music opens up so many doors and gets you out of the house and meeting new people and meeting new cultures, and all this stuff is so important to me that um, I think it's worth exploring. It's worth having in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. All right. Well, thank you for being here, and thanks for sharing your practice tips with us today.
You're very welcome. Bye bye.
I'm so glad you joined me today. Be sure to subscribe and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can find new episodes easily. And if you enjoyed this episode, would love you to send it to someone in your life you think would benefit from hearing it. This is a great way to spread the word, support the podcast, and help others with their music journey as well. Resources and upcoming events can always be found on my website, suzukitriangle.com. And I will look forward to being back here with you next week with another great piece of practice advice. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and take very good care.